Hello!
And welcome
to Nightmare Nation,
a paranormal podcast where we talk about haunted places around the world.
And scary things.
And all of the horrible history of the haunted places.
And seances.
And demons.
And Ouija boards.
And aliens.
And all things paranormal, crazy, unexplained that is going to scare your frickin' pantalones off of your legs.
Anna has been relearning Spanish.
I'm relearning Spanish, bitches!
Espanol. I have to, because lately we've decided that every time we get really angry with the world and social media,
yes,
instead of scrolling through Facebook and getting really pissed off,
we're just gonna get pissed off at language and learn a new language.
So at least I feel like I'm being somewhat productive with my time.
Yeah.
And I'm like learning something, which makes me feel happy because I'm stuck at home not doing anything anyway. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And rather than going and getting pissed off at all the asinine shit on social media, I feel like I'm like doing something to better myself as a human.
Yes, exactly.
And that's important to me.
Now I will be able to hold conversations with people out in public if maybe they need help. And because they don't speak English, and then I can maybe try and help translate.
Exactly. And you can order beer at a Mexican restaurant?
Yes.
In Spanish?
I can talk to the waiters and waitresses in Spanish.
Dos cervezas, por favor.
Sí. I'm not that far in my Spanish yet. I'm relearning the basics.
Yeah.
¿Dónde está el baño? Where is the bathroom?
Está aquí.
It's right here. That's what it means, guys.
Yeah.
We're here. Mm-hmm. We're here to provide you life lessons, language lessons.
But mostly we're here to provide entertainment because
yes, that too.
When you have two best friends who've known each other for as long as we have and share a mutual liking of all things like horrible and terrible and scary and disgusting and violent, then
it's perfect.
It's perfect because we can have really great conversation about it, and hopefully it's entertaining for you guys as listeners because we think we're super freaking funny.
We are pretty fucking hilarious.
I mean,
so
I can't.
We
speak
laugh
for the listeners
whole time we're doing the podcast, so
you guys,
we're having fun.
You have no idea how much extra laughter I have to edit out of each episode. I literally have to cut like probably 5 straight minutes worth of laughter.
That sounds about right.
From every episode, so you don't have to just sit and listen to us laugh.
And,
because
you don't hear the befores of our episode making. But we literally came up into Annie's bedroom about an hour ago. It is currently 4:18
p.m.
And we got up here probs at like 3:30.
Yeah, probably.
And now we just started recording.
I mean, we get sidetracked really easily.
Super easy.
Which you guys also know.
We really like going on tangents.
Yes.
And just talking about random shit that just kind of pops up and we just have to talk about it. So, I mean, you also get essentially like a social... what do I want to say?
You get like a comedy, pop culture, like a horror, ghost, paranormal, funny combination of just random shit.
Yeah. It's just perfect. It's not your normal paranormal podcast.
Not your normal paranormal. Hashtag.
Oh, that should have been her name.
Not your normal paranormal. Goddamn Nightmare
Did we
Nation.
have something like that? I feel like we had something rhymey like that when we were first starting off.
I think so.
Also, on my Facebook, on my memories, like a week or two ago, it was a post for our podcast. Send in your stories.
I saw that too because
my god!
In my memories from last summer. Well, it took us like 4 months to get this thing up and running because we were just being real slow, and I was really nervous. But we also recorded
like 4 episodes before we actually launched it.
I was just real nervous about actually putting it out there for the world, but I saw that too. It was like, hey guys, me and my best friend Anna are starting a podcast, blah, blah, blah. Before too long, it'll be our 1-year anniversary.
That's so fucking crazy. That I can't even believe it.
We're gonna have to crack some champagne.
Yeah, duh.
And do a seance.
With my Ouija back tattoo. Yes. I should probably go get that before.
Or maybe for our 1-year anniversary, we could take a road trip to
the King's Tavern. Tell me where it is.
It's in Natchez, Mississippi.
Natchez? I've never heard of Natchez.
Nope.
Before.
It's located at 619 Jefferson Street
in
downtown Natchez.
Precisely where that is.
Oh, do you?
Yep.
You have all the streets of Natchez, Mississippi memorized?
I know all of the streets everywhere in all of the world.
Oh my god, you're like a street savant.
Savant? Ooh,
yes.
What does that mean?
The savant, people like... You probably don't know who Alan Turing is.
No.
Okay.
did not.
People who have like an insane level of intelligence in a really specific topic. So people who like have...
I do have an insane level of intelligence. My IQ is so high.
Is it 914?
Yeah, duh.
Oh my God. How did I know that?
So...
because I'm a psychic savant.
Yeah. Side note here. So... last week, I think it was, Ben had taken an IQ test. I was like, oh, I want to know what my IQ test is. It was like some free, super small IQ test of like 10 questions. So the first one, I scored less on him. There were like 2 different ones. And then the second one was, so you had like all of these pictures and it had each column, the picture change, and you had to try to figure out what came next in the sequence.
Yep.
And so I did that. And I told him that my IQ was higher than what he got. He's like, this is rigged. I was like, bitch, please. Bitch. Just because I can figure out sequences better than you can, because I have more spatial awareness and I know more things. It's a different kind of intelligence.
Yeah.
He's very book smart, very street smart, knows a lot of just different things. Whereas I'm... not super street smart, don't know a lot about book stuff. But like spatial awareness and like different things like that, I'm very intelligent on.
Well, and that makes a lot of sense because some people, like people who have really, really good memories can appear to be very smart because they can memorize things easily. So they can spout facts, and you know, it always like makes you seem smarter in school because you can memorize really quickly. But there are also people who can memorize really quickly don't necessarily know how to like solve really complicated puzzles in a quick way. So
exactly.
And so that brings up an interesting point. I was going to mention that like the way we measure intelligence in an IQ test is like it's kind of defined by like some human biases. Like,
oh yeah.
So we developed this test, and it's not like an absolute measurement of intelligence is, right? Because it was created by humans. There's no like absolute zero. There's no like absolute like anchor point to measure intelligence. And it's influenced by your race and by like your background, because like the tests were developed by primarily white people with very different, like the way that we think is very different. Right. So, but there was actually a really interesting study, and I haven't actually followed up on this at all. I first learned about it in college in my psychometrics class, where they actually think that a way to like scientifically, completely objectively measure intelligence is the rate at which your brain metabolizes like glucose. It's like, or some kind of like sugar. Really? Because when your brain is processing information and like actively trying to come up with solutions to problems, you're metabolizing it's like a certain kind of sugar, and I'm probably totally botching this, but like that is a 100% scientific, unbiased, like there is an absolute measurement for the human intelligence based on the
really cool.
Yeah, and the brains that are like more intelligent metabolize at a faster rate or slower rate. I can't remember. I should probably know that. But I just thought that was really interesting because
that's so weird.
IQ tests are not completely objective.
No. Oh God, no.
In any way.
No.
So,
because like for me, I struggle with reading comprehension. I struggled with it my whole life. I was in what we call Title I in elementary school.
Were you?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
To help me with reading, because reading wasn't my strong suit. So when it comes to the parts in, like there was one question on this IQ test where it was some sort of sentence. It's like, well, if these robots are this, then this robot isn't that. And then you had to figure out what answer was the most true out of the statement. Yeah. And like I was sitting there reading it, and I sat there and read it for like a minute.
Analogy questions.
Yeah.
I hate
and
those.
I sat there and read
those
it.
Those are subjective.
Yes. Like, and I was just staring at it. I was like, I don't know what the fuck you're trying to ask me. What is this? What is this? And I'm like, I'm just going to pick this. And then after Ben's going through it, he's like, okay, so this is actually how you break it down. Cause he's very analytical.
Yeah, sure.
Like he's just a very problem solving, just to the books, this is what you do. And that's what he told me. I was like, oh, that makes so much more sense. Yeah. But reading is so difficult.
Well, and everyone has their different like strengths too. So like I've always really excelled with vocabulary and reading and writing, like anything with like stringing together words to make something interesting. I've always really liked that. I love reading. I love to write, and it's always come really naturally to me. But I really struggled with like so the ACTs, for example, I fucking hate ACTs. Science section where it's like You're not expected to know anything about how the science actually works, but yet you're somehow supposed to be able to figure out exactly what to do in this experiment to like measure this thing. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? I don't understand.
See, and like I'm the opposite. Like I like that analytical. I like the math and the science and like these are the steps you need to take. This is what you do to get this sort of something. And like I like that, but it comes to reading and writing, I'm like, fuck. Everything sounds like I'm like a fucking 5-year-old when I'm writing.
I'm like, fuck.
And just standardized testing is just complete bullshit.
It's dumb. We need to measure things with glucose consumption.
Let's do it. Okay. Let's figure it out. Let's get some glucose out of our brains.
Yep.
And then see how intelligent we are.
I mean, sugar is delicious.
It is. I love my sugar.
Yeah.
Okay, friends. So now that we went down that rabbit hole for about 10 minutes.
Which was a perfect example of how... I think we were starting with an example of how we always go down the rabbit hole.
And then we went
down a rabbit hole. Okay. We can do this.
Okay.
Okay, so, and aside from offering mixology classes, they are also working on building a package store.
A package store, you say?
And a rum distillery.
What is a package store?
So I'll get to that in a minute because... But they have a history of being like the town post office.
Oh.
Yeah, so this building has served multiple
really fucking
purposes.
Weird.
No, it's cool, Anna.
It's so cool.
It's the coolest.
Such cool.
Okay. So the King's Tavern was built in 1769, making it the oldest structure in the port city of Natchez.
I was like, they had to rebuild it because it looks like an old wood house.
It's the coolest looking building
Like, how
ever.
has that stood on its feet?
Yeah,
for so long.
They've probably had to like refinish the wood or replace bits and pieces.
It had to, but because I mean, most buildings that are older are typically brick, so it's easier.
It's pre-American Revolution. That's how old it is. Like this thing looks like it fucking crawls out of a history book. It is cool. So like the top half is all this like wood paneling, and the bottom half is these really cool like tan bricks. And so it literally looks like one of those old like museum type like historic Revolution era buildings. And it looks exactly like it probably, I had to guess, like how it probably did back in the Revolutionary era.
Right.
So it's really cool. So what I also thought was interesting about the way it was built. So when the British first moved in and established the nearby Fort Panmure.
Panmure.
Oh, I forgot to say, my sources were Wikipedia, onlyinyourstate.com, and author Lynn Gibson. Gibson.com.
You got it.
So the British moved in, established a nearby fort, and the King's Tavern wasn't originally a tavern. It was originally built to be a blockhouse for the nearby fort. So, blockhouse, I'm getting to it, don't worry.
You read my mind.
I got you, woman.
All right.
So, blockhouse is a military term referring to a small type of fortification that usually has a series of like loopholes connecting the rooms inside so that defenders can fire from like various positions within the house.
Oh, that's
cool. Or within the building. So it's essentially like a little fort. So, I mean, essentially what it is, it's like all the rooms are like kind of connected around like in like a loop. So if they needed to go fire from multiple directions, they could.
I gotcha.
So it's like it was meant to be like a military building to help protect the nearby Fort Panmure. So it wasn't originally built to be anything other than just like a military fortification. So there wasn't any like nearby sawmills in the area, so they basically didn't have any way of like getting construction materials. So the building and other early structures in the town of Natchez were constructed using beams taken from scrapped New Orleans sailing ships. Yeah, so...
That's so cool!
So I'll get to that in a second. Another source of wood used in the King's Tavern building construction were barge boards from Flat River boats, which were dismantled and sold after arriving in Natchez with their goods. So people would basically travel down the Ohio and Mississippi River with like all this cargo to like trade and sell. But because they just had these like wooden boats that didn't have engines or any sort of way to go back upriver, it like wasn't worth the effort to try to paddle them up the river. They never would have made it. So they essentially just like scrapped them and sold the wood for profit. So they were like one-time use boats.
Cool.
Yeah, so they were like, well, it makes more financial sense to just like literally tear them apart and sell them for profit, and then we'll like manually by foot or whatever, by horse or whatever, travel back to whatever port and then do it all over again. So they had this loop of like going down the river in their little wooden boats, scrapping them, selling them, traveling back to their ports and doing that all over again.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and they used that wood to build the building.
Oh man, I want a house like that. That's so fucking sweet.
It's really, really cool. Wow. So basically all these like trade ships that were coming from New Orleans down the river, and Natchez was a popular spot for them to land and scrap and sell the wood. So they also used sun-dried bricks as building material in the construction of the tavern. So like I said, they've got like wood on top, and then the bottom is this really cool like tannish brick thing. So it looks like it's almost like two separate houses kind of like stacked on top of each other. It's really cool looking. So after the Revolutionary War in 1776, the British left the area, which meant that like the port, which was primarily used for like military purposes during the war, got opened up for other activities and trade and everything. So they were able to kind of use it for whatever they wanted. So in 1789, a New Yorker by the name of Richard King moved his family to Natchez, where he bought the building and opened it as a combination tavern and inn, as well as the place where the town's mail was dropped off.
Such an odd combination.
Right.
Like you can sleep here and then you can also send out your mail while getting an alcoholic beverage.
Yes, and that's actually what made it really popular. So like King quickly became a very successful businessman because people would come to drop off their mail and they're like, oh, as long as I'm here, I'll stay and have a drink. And then everyone would just sit and like socialize or whatever. And so they had to come there for a lot of different reasons. So it essentially became like the town meeting point. It was like the hot spot in town for people to go and socialize.
That's so neat.
So everyone like knew him. He became very popular. It was a very successful business. And it was around this time that outlaws began settling in the Natchez area because they realized that all these people coming down the river and selling their boats had to travel back to their origin point by foot or by horse or by carriage or whatever. And they were like, they essentially became like highwaymen that would just like rob people coming out of town because they knew that there was going to be constantly a flux of like sailors coming down the river and going back to where they came from. Yeah. So these like outlaws essentially set up camp in Natchez, and they started preying on the boatmen and visitors in town and made a living from gambling in town and then robbing the people.
Well, how rude.
I know.
Like, to make a living out of that, of just robbing people and gambling and just, haha, this is awesome.
Well, they also often, like, killed their victims. They were not nice people.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's so aggressive.
Yeah. So the boatmen who would sell their stuff in town would usually spend the night at the King's Tavern. So that was a very popular spot for, like, people who were traveling through town on business. They would stay there. Then all the outlaws who, like, knew the area would kind of, like scout the people who were staying at the King's Tavern and then like follow them out of town, rob them, and sometimes kill them.
Jeez.
So God, this was kind of like a brutal cycle of like danger. Don't stay at the King's Tavern because you'll get targeted for crime activity.
Shit.
And the infamous Harpe Brothers were also known to kind of like haunt this area because they were essentially known as the first documented serial killers in U.S. history.
Oh, I read that.
Yes.
That's why I wanted to do this. Yes, like the history was just so cool.
It's really, I mean, they're terrible. I mean, these people would literally cut open and disembowel the bodies of their victims.
Gross.
Refill them with rocks and dirt.
Oh my God.
And then dump them in whatever body of water was nearby. Probably the river. So they were violent.
Like, why stuff the body back with rocks and dirt?
Probably to make them sink, if I had to guess. But you could probably just like tie a rock to their foot. I mean, they also were just like really fucked up people in general.
Yeah,
they enjoyed killing they would like kidnap and rape people, like kill innocent civilians. Like they were not nice people. It takes
a whole new mental state to do something like that.
Have you seen Mindhunters yet?
Yeah.
It's so good.
I watched the first, I kind of watched the first season. I had it on while doing other things, but I need to like actually just
that's right. We talked about this at one point. Yeah, you need to go back and rewatch it.
Sit down and just actually watch it.
It's really good. The second season isn't as good as the first. I really hope they make a third. Apparently, like the show wasn't canceled, but they released all the actors from their contracts, and I'm like, please make a third season. It's so good. Oh my gosh.
It's just so cool because that's how the BAU... behavioral analysis.
Yes. And so it's like our favorite things combined. It's psychology and like true crime and like criminal investigation stuff into one amazing TV show with fucking Jonathan Groff, who's amazing. So
I've always wanted to be in the BAU. Like behavioral analysis is just so fascinating.
I feel like
it's so cool.
If I could find a way to very like expertly cut off my work from my personal life and be able to completely detach from it as soon as I go home, I would 1000% have a career as a criminal psychologist, doing like psychological profiling, going to crime scenes, like doing all that stuff, because I find it so fascinating.
So cool.
And I feel like being able to bring justice to these people would be so rewarding. But I know as a person, I'm too much of an empath to like be able to shut it off.
To see that crime scene and to not take it home with you and just feel just awful about what happened.
And not have any sort of like lingering PTSD or like psychological damage to yourself.
Like, I mean, even watching just like real like true crime shows, and when they actually show like real images from the crime scene, it's like,
it's so awful. The entire time I was getting my tattoo done, I watched Forensic Files on Netflix.
I love Forensic Files.
And the guy doing my tattoo was like, he's like, do you actually, because he gave me the remote to pick something on Netflix, because I was like, do you mind if I like put something on the TV to distract myself? He's like, no, here you go. Here's the remote. And I was just scrolling through, and the first thing I found was Forensic Files. And he's like, so question, did you just pick something random, or do you actually like this stuff? I'm like, no, I fucking love this stuff.
It's so cool.
And then he told me his wife went to school for like criminal, like behavioral science.
What?
And apparently she graduated at a really bad time where in order to get a job, you had to do like a 5-year internship or something ridiculous. So she didn't do it. But I was like, oh my God, your wife went to school for like criminal justice.
Exactly what I want to do. Oh, that'd be, oh gosh. Yeah. That'd be so cool.
It'd be amazing.
God.
Okay.
Here we go.
So unfortunately, eventually the invention of the steamboat kind of put an end to the whole, like, people traveling into town and selling their wood or whatever, because, like, with the steamboats, they were able to actually go back upriver the way they came. They didn't need to, like, scrap the boats because they were able to travel both directions. So this ended up hurting the town's economy and the King's Tavern's business prospects by quite a bit, because they had all these people who were like normally kind of coming to town, selling their stuff, staying, and then going back. And instead they were just able to drop off their cargo and head back home right away. So the town's economy kind of suffered from the invention of the steamboat, which sounds counterintuitive. You'd think there'd be like more business coming through.
Right. But I mean, if they're not stopping, then you're not going to have the same influx of people then.
Right. So that was kind of unfortunate. So Richard King ended up selling the King's Tavern in 1817, and it became the private home of the Postal Waith family for a total of 150 years, starting in 1823. So they passed it down from like generation to generation for a long time, which I think is kind of cool. That doesn't really happen anymore.
No.
Like, family homes don't stay family homes anymore.
Oh, God, no.
So in the 1930s, a grisly discovery was made when the skeletal remains of 2 men and 1 woman were found hidden in the walls behind the fireplace during a renovation.
That's so weird.
So they were...
It's so creepy.
Yeah, so they're just getting some work done on the house. The Postal Waith family is, doing a little upgrade, and they find 3 bodies, like, in the walls, which is my worst nightmare.
Right?
No. There's a reason we bought a house that was built in 2003 and only had 1 family of owners, because I was like, I'm not dealing with some bullshit from like 1870.
Right, you don't know what the fuck's in the vents.
Oh my God.
Like my cousins, they bought an old, or my aunt and uncle, they bought an old farmhouse.
Is there a dead body in it?
No. But in their vents, they found all sorts of shit. Like, they found old shoes and pictures and toys and,
in the
like...
vents?
Yeah.
What the hell?
And, like, little, plucked off, like, belt buckles and stuff. And they have some of this stuff, like, on this little mirror in their living room.
But why did they go in the vents?
I think kids may have just, dropped them in there, or it was open and stuff just fell. And they've found so many things in this house.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's Alan's house.
Really?
Yeah.
That is so cool.
It's such an old house. I like that house.
Okay. So they find these bodies, and then with the bodies, they found a jeweled dagger.
Oh, a jeweled dagger,
like fancy Renaissance type shit. And the police assumed that to be the murder weapon, but it happened from so long ago, like the bodies were so deteriorated, they couldn't like say for certain. So the men were never identified, but the woman was believed to be a woman named Madeline.
Oh, Madeline.
Who had been a mistress of Richard King, the original owner.
Oh, you asshole.
So, this is not really proven, but according to local legend, Madeline had disappeared shortly after Mrs. King found out about the affair.
Oh, Mrs. King is killing the mistress.
Of course, everyone assumed she murdered Madeline out of jealousy and hid the body in the house, but...
Which only makes sense.
Except, who the hell were the two guys then back there? And also, how would she hide a body behind the fireplace without her husband, like, noticing that, like, the bricks had been taken out of the wall?
Yeah,
right?
I suppose.
You don't do that in, like, an afternoon.
I mean, unless the fireplace wasn't there and she hid the body somewhere else, and then they decided to build a fireplace.
And then she moved the body there?
The bodies there.
I'm not totally sure, but, like, either way, that seemed to me, like, sort of really a strange thing. But either way, I don't know how the two guys ended up back there. Like, there's 3 bodies. That's a lot of bodies to hide in a wall.
Yeah.
Not just, like, one.
That's ridiculous.
So, I don't know.
Shit.
Okay, so then some time passes, and eventually in 1973, the building was sold to a local investor and eventually became the tavern and restaurant that it's known as today, to serve both locals and visitors, taking the original name, the King's Tavern. So it was
that's cool.
Originally King's Tavern. It was a family home for like 150 years, and then eventually became the King's Tavern again.
Nice.
Under new ownership, the tavern was reopened in the fall of 2013, and the owners are using farm-to-table concept using locally sourced and quality ingredients.
Oh, that's really cool.
Offerings include specialty flatbreads made in a wood fire brick oven, salads, and desserts.
Sounds delicious.
Sounds delicious.
So we should probably actually go here.
I wonder if they still...
So
I wonder if it's still an inn. Probably not. Probably just the restaurant.
I think it's just the restaurant.
Okay.
I'm fairly certain.
Because that would be really cool.
Right?
To be able to go, like, eat there.
Yeah.
And also stay there.
Sounds delicious.
But I would settle for
some
just eating
local food.
And a mixology class.
Yeah.
We got to do that
everything.
For the 1-year anniversary.
Heck yeah.
Nightmare Nation.
Nightmare Nation.
Nightmare Nation.
Well, you know, with the history of the King's Tavern and murders...
Is it haunted?
You know it.
Tell me about it. Tell me about
the haunting.
Of course,
it is haunted. The King's Tavern. My sources are onlyinyourstate.com, justchasingrabbits.com.
Oh, yeah?
haunteddeepsouth.blogspot.com, and ghostadventures.fandom.com.
Yes, Ghost Adventures!
I had to go into the deep, dark depths. I don't like that word.
No.
Depths.
Depths. It's kind of like crisps.
Yes, crisps. Or, there's another one. Tenths. Or like twelfths.
Yep. I would like twelfths. On that pizza.
Like, it's
going back for
terrible.
seconds. I'm going back for twelfths. English is dumb.
It is really stupid. So stupid. It just doesn't make any sense.
No, it's really hard to pronounce.
It really is, and some words that should be pronounced the same aren't pronounced the same.
No, it's dumb.
And it's just stupid. So I'm sorry for anybody who's trying to learn English right now.
You have our sincerest apologies and sympathy.
Yes, because it's just the dumbest language ever. Yeah. So, anyways, here we go. The King's Tavern is haunted, if you didn't guess.
Is it?
That's why we're covering it tonight.
No.
So, I mean, obviously, there are some strange things that have taken place in this tavern.
Tell me about it.
One of such things is the upstairs. So, the upstairs area of the tavern used to be the inn. So, the upstairs was the inn, and then the downstairs was like the bar and restaurant.
Right, yep.
So witnesses have reported seeing a reflection suddenly appearing in a mirror, as well as feeling warm spots a few inches above the bed.
Warm spots?
Right?
That's
super weird, because typically ghosts are cold spots. So
warm spots.
Maybe they're just feeling like the heater, potentially.
I mean, maybe.
Or, you know, maybe it's the devil.
Or
maybe demons come out in hot spots and, angels and nice ghosts are cold spots.
Maybe. They're bringing like a little bit of hellfire with them.
Yeah. Exactly.
Maybe they're just feeling a little spicy.
Feeling a little
spicy tonight.
So, like Annie talked about, the notorious outlaw, Willie Harpe.
Willie Harpe
is believed to haunt the tavern along with one of his victims. So, according to legend, there was a mother with a fussy infant, and Harpe, who was annoyed with the crying of the little infant, grabbed the baby and threw the child to the ground, killing him instantly.
What a fucking asshole!
Right? Like, could you imagine someone coming up, grabbing your baby, and just fucking tossing it to the ground?
Someone else who's completely unrelated to you.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
ass.
Oh my God.
Yep.
I would never get over that.
No.
Not
that's
ever.
So traumatizing.
That's so terrible.
God.
That poor baby.
Right?
That's kind of what babies do. Is they cry.
That's exactly what they do. I'm sorry you can't handle the crying, but like leave and don't actually chuck the baby to the ground, please.
Harpe was probably also a screaming baby at one point.
He was a screaming baby.
Yeah.
Asshole.
Oh my God.
They should have just killed him on the spot.
That makes me so angry.
Yep. I don't know what happened after that, if they, like, tried him or just nothing happened.
Yeah. That might be one of those things that just kind of, like, local legend. Because, like, it seemed like, when I looked up the Harpe Brothers, it seemed like there was a lot of conflicting information about, like, what their names even were. Or, like, really? Exactly. Yeah, there was some, like, controversy about, like, how, like, who exactly they were, how they operated. Like, it seemed like it was a little bit, like, some of it was just kind of, like, local folklore and, like, legend and stuff. Yeah. But, I mean, I think everyone can kind of agree that they're, like, they were real figures, but exactly who they were and what they did is kind of TBD. So that makes sense. That could be it, but if it's true, it's really terrible.
But witnesses have reported hearing a child crying coming from upstairs in the tavern at times when there was no one up there.
Oh,
so it's a possibility that it is still the baby just haunting. Yeah. Poor
little baby ghost.
I know, it's so sad.
Can you imagine being a ghost baby? Because, like, babies don't really know what's going on. And, like, you don't really understand what it means to, like, be alive or not.
You're just there and you just want food and you poop your pants and that's about it.
And no one's feeding you and you're like, what the fuck?
Come on, Mom, come here. Terrible. Give me your boob. Give me my milk.
Give it.
All right. So the owners of the bar are very open about the hauntings that go on. And they're like, they just tell people whatever happens, happens. So they have surveillance footage of one of the small refrigerators behind the bar opening on its own.
What? On surveillance?
Yeah. I feel like with the smaller refrigerators that they have, like, those are pretty sealed and would be pretty tough to just open on its own.
Well, even so, like, there, you know, everyone accidentally leaves the fridge open from time to time, but it just, like, sits there.
Yeah, it doesn't
blow open on their own.
Yeah,
like, they don't move.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to try and see maybe if I can find footage of this.
That would be
because that'd be really cool to see if it just, like, flies open or if it's just, like, a little steady open or what it might be. So I'm not sure.
Either way, we'll have to try to share a picture of the tavern itself because it really looks cool.
It's so cool.
It's pretty cool.
It's beautiful. So there are witness reports of people seeing a young female believed to be the ghost of Madeline.
The mistress. That
whore. So she will appear at odd times and is known to be a prankster. So
Anna,
my kind of ghost.
Your kindred spirit.
I know, it's just great. Yeah. So she is said to knock jars off the shelves. She pours water on the brick floors, turns on and off lights, and breaks glass. So she's just, like, pissed and is like, fuck you guys, I'm gonna break your shit because I'm dead and I don't care.
That's hilarious. I mean, she's theoretically a murder victim of the, like, jealous wife, so I'd be kind of pissed, too. I'd be like, fuck you, mess up your house.
Asshole.
Clean up some
water, I'm gonna pour water
bitches.
on your bricks. Come at me. So, others have witnessed tables vibrating.
What?
They're just... I wish you guys could, like, have... podcast television so you can see what we're doing.
Oh my god.
I mean, we could just record these.
The motions we just made were
video.
Just so ridiculous.
We're gyrating.
I'm sorry.
So others have witnessed tables vibrating, chains on the walls moving by themselves.
Why do they have chains on the walls?
I don't know. Maybe if they have like lights or something, maybe connecting it.
All right,
potentially.
Yeah.
They also have heard footsteps when no one was there, and water taps turning on by themselves.
What a waste of water.
Right?
Racking up
Conserve
the water.
the water, okay? There are people in third world countries who don't have running water, and they need it, and you're just wasting water, you asshole ghosts.
Yeah, assholes.
How rude. There are also claims of seeing a man with no face wearing a red hat.
No!
Yeah. I don't know who it is. Maybe it's
hat?
a Harpe brother. They didn't say it. Just said a red hat.
Like a fedora or like a magician
I would say,
hat?
I mean, probably like maybe a fedora.
Like a feather cap?
It could have been a top hat based on time frame, maybe back in the day.
What about like a bonnet?
Probably it's not a bonnet. That's a little too far back.
No. Like a big old red bonnet atop of a faceless dude.
I mean, that's super manly.
Super manly.
So, probably.
I like it.
Yes.
Okay.
We should start wearing bonnets.
Let's bring back the bonnet. Like,
yeah.
Why the hell
We're going to start this, and we're going to start fucking wearing bonnets to every podcast.
Why the hell did those ever go out of style?
Right?
Who doesn't want a
just
giant
slick your
fucking
hair
cloth
back?
hairnet
It's perfect.
to hold back your curls?
Exactly.
I want one.
And then you can sweat in it. And
I'm going to make
delicious.
you a bonnet for your birthday.
Please.
If you make me a razor cube, I'll make you a bonnet.
That sounds perfect.
Okay.
I just have to figure out how to make a razor cube.
I have to figure out how to make a bonnet.
All right. So people have also heard male voices talking when no one is there, as well as shadows and apparitions of both a large man and an Indian.
Oh.
I don't know where this Indian came from.
I'm sure. I'm sure there was probably a lot of Native Americans in the area, though. Given
Probably.
how old this building is, there definitely
Right.
would have been Native American interactions.
Yeah.
So
that was
I could see that.
Interesting.
Probably over a freaking burial ground, like every other building in the United States of America.
Yep. I mean, pretty much everywhere is a burial ground.
Pretty much.
So, it's fine. So Ghost Adventures
Yay!
investigated there, and they had a lot of different experiences. So some of the things that they experienced is they heard a lot of different noises, including banging and disembodied female voices. So I'm pretty sure it's probably Madeline.
Probably.
They also got an EVP saying, "I can say your name."
Oh.
So I don't...
Like, if you tell me what it is, I can say it.
Maybe.
That's how cool I am. I
Yeah.
can say your name.
Yeah.
If you tell me what it is.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't think
That's
they ever
interesting.
got any of them actually, like, saying their names.
Okay.
But thought that was pretty cool. And they also heard unexplained creepy laughter.
Creepy laughter.
I hate creepy laughter. I just think...
I mean, I'm pretty sure any unexplained laughter is inherently creepy.
Yes, it
I think
is.
by definition, laughter that you cannot pinpoint
See?
the source of
Yeah,
is going
it's
to
fucking,
be creepy.
I just automatically think of a clown sitting in a corner in a dark room, just like, yeah. I fucking hate clowns.
What movie is it? There's a fucking movie where this clown with like a knife comes out and is like, with a knife. What is that from?
It? I don't think he has.
No, it wasn't from It. I mean, it was. Oh my god, I can picture the whole scene. I have no idea what it's from though. I have to think.
You'll have to figure it out.
Yeah.
So, while the crew was conducting a spirit box session, for those of you who don't know what a spirit box is, it's this little tiny, like, circular thing that cycles through different radio frequencies. So it doesn't pick up any specific radio. It just goes through the frequencies because ghosts can communicate through, like, radio frequencies and waves, and so they can pick up different sounds and voices and words and stuff, and it's like super loud, but when you hear the voice,
They come through so clearly.
yes, it comes through so clearly. So it's not just a voice coming from the radio station that it's actually going through. Like, it's a completely separate voice from what you would actually hear coming through the radio.
Yeah, so it's like going through so quickly that like nothing you'd be able to like hear from the radio station would have enough time to say an actual word,
Right.
because it's flipping through so fast.
And it's just it's like fuzzy. It's what you think of when you're on like channel 3 of your TV and it's just like that staticky sound.
Oh god, we're dating ourselves.
I know, I was just thinking the same thing.
You're like, what's television?
What is channel 3?
You got TV for free?
What?
What
is this?
Yeah,
Weird.
But like to your point, when the voices come through, it sounds like it's a completely different like,
Yeah.
audio wavelength.
Yes.
Like just a completely separate track getting like laid over the radio.
Yep,
fuzz.
and it's typically just
Radio
like
fuzz?
Radio fuzz.
Static
is what I
Radio Fuzz. Oh my god, that'd be a really cool band name.
Ooh,
Radio Fuzz.
Let's be Radio Fuzz.
Okay.
Yeah, so they did a spirit box session. And during the spirit box session, the hairs on Zach's arm stood on end, and he felt a very strong presence and felt that the energy changed the whole house for the duration of the investigation.
Did they hear anything specific with the spirit box?
They had a lot of different names that came through. I didn't write down the specifics, but
okay,
it came
so they heard specific names.
I'm pretty sure they heard their names and just like a couple random voices that came through.
Sure.
Yep. So then during this session as well, they caught an orb that shoots out of the spirit box when Zach is near the camera, and then just like throughout the whole episode in different rooms throughout the house, they see a lot of fast-moving orbs, things that just kind of pop out of nowhere, that are just kind of everywhere.
Just bopping around.
So the team also, they put up a sheet in front of one of the windows in the, I think in one of like the rooms, so that the street lights and stuff wouldn't bother.
Like shine through.
Like shine through and ruin their evidence and stuff that they got. So something happened where they heard a noise coming from this specific room. So Zach and Nick went up to investigate after they heard the noise, and they found the sheet had been thrown onto the ground and the tape that was used to hold it up was gone.
Oh, snap.
Right?
The tape was gone?
Yeah.
I could
like,
see...
what kind of ghost is just stealing tape?
Fuck you, dude. I could see, like, if it had just fallen down. Like, if it just, like, came off because the tape broke or whatever. But, like, to have the tape be entirely missing seems a little suspect.
Right. Unless they just didn't see that the tape was still up on the wall, maybe, and just the sheet was on the ground.
Yeah, but one would think they'd be intelligent enough to, like, pay attention to that sort of thing. Unless they were
drama.
Unless they were trying to make it seem that spooky.
Right.
But, yeah.
Ghost stealing tape. They need that tape in the afterlife.
I mean, they gotta hang shit in
the
paranormal realm, too, okay?
Exactly.
They have little paper projects that they need tape for.
Yeah.
Come on.
Duh. Gosh, come on, people.
Ghosts are people, too.
Yeah, they have lives. Okay. So the team also experienced some sort of possession, like in almost every single episode. They just must be like some sort of clairvoyant or have like the extra super phenomena vibe coming off of them to get possessed.
Yeah, seriously.
Because I feel like they get possessed, or they just go into this weird trance-like state in a lot of their episodes.
Or it's bullshit.
Well, yes, that too.
But you'd think that,
I think some of them are true. Some of them, I think they go a little overboard.
Because I feel like you can't go to a place and say like, oh, well, nothing happened. We didn't catch anything. We didn't get any EVPs. We didn't get any pictures.
Well, that's
happened.
why ghost hunters, I think they stopped for a long time because they didn't want to have... Like, they weren't getting the proper ratings because at some locations they weren't experiencing anything.
Yeah.
And they're the type of people that they don't want to put out there. If they don't experience anything, they're not going to over-exaggerate for the ratings and to get the people in.
And I appreciate that because I feel like people who, like, make up stuff to, like, make it seem bigger than it is what discredits the whole field.
Yes, exactly.
Not that it's all, like, a proven science anyway, but, like, it's only going to hurt the reputation of, like, the paranormal whatever community.
Yeah.
Like, if you make stuff up and you get caught, it's going to just make all of it seem like bullshit.
Yep. So Nick began feeling an intense energy overwhelming him, and he got deeply affected by an entity to the point where he was in an unresponsive state.
Oh,
and
man.
And then Billy, I think he was one of, like, the other camera guys. Or, no, I think he's the one who's typically in, like, command center, I think, something, and so he must have, like, gone in. So he was affected in a similar way to Nick by, like, the same energy, but he experienced it a little bit differently and had more serious problems. So supposedly he had serious heart problems. It didn't specify what it was, like if he was having heart palpitations or if he was just feeling like a tightness in his chest or what it was. They didn't specify. But he also was unresponsive, and he lost track of time as well.
Oh.
While he was there. So
like,
that's...
several hours had passed, and he felt like it had been shorter or something like that?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yep. So then, at the end... They also experienced residual hauntings. So after they left the building...
Really? See, that's the stuff that fascinates me. Yes. It's like, after you leave, the shit follows you home. I'm like, no thank you.
Well, and what they do is they provoke them. So obviously, they're always going to have these residual hauntings. And especially when you're going into a house with demons.
Yeah.
And you're provoking them. They are going to attach to you and... come home with you.
Just like the freaking demon house is why they had to freaking tear it down.
Exactly.
Because it was just like, nope, we're not doing that anymore.
Like, don't be dumb. Yep. Don't be dumb.
Don't be fucking stupid.
I really am super tempted, so I watched all of Supernatural. I don't know.
I love that show.
Okay, good.
I haven't seen all of it, but I've seen a lot of it.
The end kind of gets a little ridiculous, and I feel like they just tried to stretch it out as long as they could, and they just needed to
be done.
Just be done.
Just like Scrubs after season 8 when they fucking made season 9. I'm like, what are you doing?
Or Parks and Rec.
Yes, you did not need a season 7.
No.
It was so stupid.
Yeah.
Just end it
but
as
it's
the
like,
perfect ending.
There are so many times that you can die and come back to life before you're just like, okay, just fucking die already, please. Like God. Yeah. But so they have the tattoo. I think Sam has it. Dean has it on his chest. I don't know where Sam has it, but it's their symbol or what they use essentially to not be possessed by demons.
Right.
It's like the symbol to where you
protect
can't.
Them,
yeah. And I've thought about actually getting that tattoo because I think it would just it'd be so cool. So it's like I'm
gonna look it up right now.
I think it's like a star on the inside, and then the outside surrounding it is like little like fire looking teardrops almost. So, yeah, it's like that one.
Oh, that looks so sweet.
Like, the tattoo is fucking sweet. Like, what they actually have on is the coolest thing ever. So, their residual hauntings that they felt when they left, there are 2 that I'm a little iffy.
Skeptical.
So, this first one, while they were trying to leave the house after their investigation, they said that there were thousands of crows outside, in quotations, watching them leave, and they would not let them drive down the road.
I'm gonna call absolute bullshit on that.
When I read that, I was like, I don't know. I didn't actually read or watch the episodes. This is all just coming from one of my sources. It was just essentially like a rundown of what happened in the episode. So I don't know if this is actually in the episode or not.
No.
But crows don't watch you. No. I mean,
they might watch you, but they're not going to fucking stop you from driving down the road.
Exactly.
Are you kidding me?
You can keep driving. You might just hit a couple.
Yeah, and thousands? Yeah. Maybe 50.
Yes.
Not thousands. Like, it's not the fucking birds.
Exactly. Especially in fucking Mississippi. Come on. Come on, guys.
That's
don't be ridiculous.
Sorry. I call bull on that.
I do too.
Okay.
So this one, I'm a little confused on the wording. So Nick's phone had random words in a text message mentioning bothersome spirits and Madeline. So I don't know if he was getting texts from some, like an unknown number. Someone or an unknown number with information on these spirits. Or if they were text messages coming through from a friend and they had little key words or something in it.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
To the spirits were coming through in a text.
Oh, they were invading a text message and being like, "Hey, do you want to go get dinner, Madeline, next weekend?"
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Interesting.
This last one.
Are you calling bull?
Hardcore bull. Okay. This is just a little ridiculous. So 2 days after their investigation, a tornado struck. And looking at the satellite radar, the tornado belt was shaped as a dagger with the tip pointing towards Natchez.
I'm sorry.
I read that and I was like, you've got to be fucking kidding me.
That is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
A tornado has a path, and typically, that path is going to most likely look like a dagger.
Well, you can look at any freaking
or
cloud
even a
in the
storm
sky and be like, oh, it really looks like this. It's all, that is such utter nonsense.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yep.
I can't believe they even had the balls to come out and say that.
It's that one. I was like, oh Jesus, I just have to talk about it because this is absolutely ridiculous.
You know what it was? It was the bejeweled dagger of the weapon that killed Madeline.
Exactly what it was.
That was trying to destroy the town to get revenge on the murderer.
Yep. Exactly.
No.
Don't be dumb.
Shut up.
Don't be dumb.
That's so stupid.
Yep.
I'm so glad you said it though.
We're here to give you the things that we think are correct. Because, yes, there are paranormal things that happen. But at the same time, some people try to find little things to
It's called a confirmation bias.
Yes, it is.
It's something you see a lot in politics.
You guys get so much psychology tonight.
Oh my god. It's a thing where
it's
like you
all
look
psychology.
You frame the pieces of evidence around you in the world to fit your narrative.
Yes.
And
exactly.
you ignore anything dissenting or that disagrees with what you think, and you choose to actively seek out the stuff that supports your point of view. It doesn't make you ignorant or a bad person.
No.
It just makes you someone who falls prey to a very common thing.
Yes.
But be aware of it, because that is absolutely the definition of frickin' confirmation bias.
Yes. Yes.
That it's, you guys believe what you want to believe. If you think there was a legitimate tornado with a dagger shape pointing to Natchez, and that's fine. Because of a ghost, go for it. We're not going to stop you.
No.
I personally think that's bull.
I agree.
But
everybody is entitled to their own opinion.
To each their own.
Exactly. So
guys,
friends, that is
the King's Tavern. Jinx. So friends, please send. We did it again. Please send in any stories you have of anything scary or paranormal that may have happened to you.
Stories, please.
Send them into our email, nightmarenation19@gmail.com.
And we are on all of the social media platforms. Check us out on Instagram at nightmare.nation19. We post some super awesome photos of us so you can see what our face is like. Also, side note, kind of, please let us know if, you hear our voice. Do our faces sound like what you pictured?
That's a really good question.
Yeah, because I've always wanted to know. I'm like, do you picture us differently?
And that's really fascinating, too, because people, in our pictures, we don't specify who is who. So do people hear my voice and think I'm you?
Right? I should do this as a post.
Oh, my God.
And see what we get.
Which one is which, bitches?
Yeah.
Which bitch?
Which bitch? Which bitch is which?
Which bitch is which?
This would be great. Also, hit us up on the Facebook _Nation19. We post some awesome content as well. We just posted pictures of ectoplasm and some really cool ghost pictures from Ranker.com. They've got some cool stuff.
Those were some really good ones on there. There was a couple, most of them were that's not that scary, but a couple were oh, that makes me uncomfortable.
You can also find us on YouTube, Nightmare Nation 19.
Yep, we're on YouTube now. It's official.
It's so cool. So subscribe to us there.
Yep.
You can listen to all of those episodes there on all of your podcast platforms.
Make sure if you have a place that you'd like to hear covered on the podcast, let us know what it is, because we love user suggestions. I've done that before. Not user, listener suggestions.
Yes.
Because we want to know, then we know we're talking about something that you're interested in.
Exactly.
But please let us know the stories of anything creepy that's happened to you or someone you know,
or if you've taken pictures somewhere and you've got some cool orbs or shadowy figures or something, send them in and we'll post them up.
If you've been anywhere that we've talked about, please let us know. Let us know.
Because it's so cool.
What your experiences were.
We want to know.
But in the meantime,
friends,
stay safe.
Don't use Ouija boards.
Please don't.
Don't have seances.
Don't do it. It's not worth it.
Don't make deals with the devil, because he will take your soul later on down
Besides,
the road.
my deal with the devil supersedes all other deals, and he's my best friend, so stay away.
We're BFFs.
Yep, BFF.
So it's fine.
Devil BFF. Yep. I'm going to get a devil BFF tattoo on my forehead.
Perfect. Yes.
Okay.
Do it.
I will.
Okay.
No one else do that.
Don't do mine. It's just hers.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, bye,
friends. All right, friends. Bye.
Bye.